So do you want to be more successful? No doubt you're reading books, you're on YouTube, you're all over the place, figuring out what is a plan and a system to actually help you not just do more, but become more. So you've probably read a book or at least heard of a book called Pychocybernetics by Maxwell Maltz. I read this book for the first time about 20 years ago and was wowed by the mindsets and shifts that he really details in there. And opening up in the book, there's this one story that really set the context for the book. And it was this: a young girl had a scar on her face and she went to this plastic surgeon, had the scar removed, but she still felt ugly. And he realized it wasn't so much the scar on the outside, but it was the inside. She had a scar on her self-image, or the concept of how she saw herself, this image. We hear so much about self-esteem, self-concept, but you think about it right now, there's like an image of how you see yourself. And if you looked at a picture of yourself, no doubt, you've had the experience where, as people will get a picture of themselves in a group, we all just look at ourselves and we're so judgmental and we compare ourselves to other people. And there's a image in how you see yourself. And there's the objective image of how things actually are. And then there's the subjective view of how you're viewing yourself, how you're critiquing yourself, how you're comparing yourself. And that self-image, the foundation of that book, is what we really need to work on. And when you think about it, when you close your eyes, and if you close your eyes now before you go to bed and you just visualized yourself, this vision that you have of yourself, there's all these beliefs and all these projections onto that image that you have. But if we can shift that self-image, if we can shift the concept of how we see ourselves, that expanded self-view really creates the foundation to be able to have the capacity and have the skills and have the lifestyle that we want, because this person in which you build for yourself, you see them as the type of person who. You say, I'm the type of person who, or that's the type of person who. And so this is a short video on just one of the tools that's in this book. And I just got off teaching a mindset class to one of the companies that I do mindset coaching in. It's an 8-figure-a-month company. And they come to me just for the mindset piece. Of course, if you followed me for a while, you know that we teach sales and speaking. Oh, by the way, if you don't know me, my name's Eli Wild. I've been in the sales game for about 20 some years. The first guy to hit 9 figures in personal, production from coaching sales. Back when it was hard. It's relatively easier now with all the funnels and the coaching space is blown up. But I've been a part of something really great with a great company. And now I help a lot of companies with the linguistics, the framing, the objections, the storytelling, all the stuff that you can see. If you've been here for a while, we've been helping people for a while. But in this video, I wanted to go into this mindset piece. And I don't have any fancy editing on here or anything like that. So you can take down notes. I promise it'll be valuable. But the acronym that he describes in the book is simply CRAFT, C-R-A-F-T. And so I'm going to walk you through this, kind of how I've internalized it, because I think that not just getting the acronym or having the tool without having a practical application in your life for what you can do with it that is scheduled and real and allows you to optimize, to self-direct your internal servo mechanism in real time. I think that's what you need, and this will be useful for the application of that. So back to the acronym. It's simply CRAFT. C is cancel. And it's been proven now. I think I even saw a Joe Rogan clip talking about this. The process of really screwing ourselves and our future selves is the process of rumination. How often do we have an idea or that thing that happened or that trauma or that experience? And you've heard this before. It's not so much what happens to us. It's the meaning and the story that we tell ourselves about the thing is always more indicative of where we'll be in the future than the actual thing itself. So it's not what happens to us. It's what we do with what happens to us. But what we do to ourselves based on what happened oftentimes is rumination. The process of just thinking, mentally rehearsing that shouldn't have happened. And so the first, letter C is simply cancel. And I tell people you're allowed to bitch and moan and all the things that you want, but only for like 2 minutes max. And so, we end up having these experiences, and I've done it. It's just part of the human experience. We start replaying these things in our mind. And so if you could have some kind of word, a pattern interrupt, if you will, cancel. You can use the word erase, white it out, delete, say it out loud, cancel, 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 whatever it is. Just like, set an anchor for yourself that is like, hey, cancel it, and know that you're running a mental movie right there, and you cancel it. Say the word cancel or say something to break that pattern. And then you basically imagine whiting out that image. Like if you could make it visual, if most of us are visual or auditory or kinesthetic, like doing something, saying something, seeing something, know that you're running a mental movie and say cancel, delete, end, erase, whatever it is, cancel it. But we can't just cancel things. We need to replace it. So you cancel that mental movie, you cancel that thought, you interrupt the pattern, and then we got to replace it with something. What do we replace it with? You replace it with the image that you want. And so this will require for you to take a few minutes, and it's valuable to do, but what do you want your life to look like? Like this image of you, confident, strong, articulate, powerful, handsome, pretty, whatever, rich, whatever is your thing, loved, hugging people. Just have a vision of yourself, a vision of yourself. And now, even with AI, you can actually make a vision of yourself. And you probably have seen people do this with these AI memes. They have an image of themselves as Superman or Superwoman or pretty or, on a yacht, whatever it is. You can create one with AI. I'm not here to teach you that, but maybe you just got to create it in your mind. It's like an internal vision board of this ideal you that you can see. And just have that image. You don't need it on your wall, but you need it on the walls of the inside of your brain. This self-image, you need to be able to internalize to really have like a vivid vision of you and your life. And to know when that image comes in that's negative and you want to cancel it, and then see that vision of yourself. So you replace it. Take some time, get clear. How do they talk? How do they walk? How do they move into a room? How do they deal with challenges? Like, who is this person? Like, see it, it's done. And then you want to make sure that you have that image. That's what you replaced it with. So you see it. And then A is affirm the self-image. And I love this whole concept of affirmation. And I don't think it's so much of affirmations, but I tell you, like, kind of how I look at this. And there's a phrase in the Bible that I just think is so powerful. But at the same time, I think I'm just looking at my notes here. It's affirm your new self-image. And here's what I think about affirming your new self-image. There's this line that I know you've heard. It's in the Bible. It's, I am that I am. I am that I am. I am that I am. I feel like they messed it up. Don't get, if you're super into religion, don't get mad at me. But if I was writing that image or writing that phrase, I would have put a comma in it. I am that, comma, I am. So I want you to see that image. You've replaced that image, see that image, and then see that image and say to yourself, I am that. I am. In the world, it's like we can have this tantric experience of life. What we put out comes back to us. There's not just, we don't live in a vacuum. We don't live in a silo. It's like we're in this river of life. You breathe out, you breathe in, and so we're putting something out, and then to see that image that we put out, and then, bring it back in. I am that. I am wealthy. I am. And a lot of affirmations, people say, I am wealthy. I am powerful. I am confident. I am successful. Whatever it is you might be affirming to yourself, but that putting it out there, and now we affirm it. I am that. I am. And imagine it just going deeper into you. I am that. I am. So we affirm it to ourselves. So we see it, and then we affirm it, and we bring it in. Next here is focus on the image of success. So what does that mean? That means as you see that image of yourself and you bring it in, like run a short mental movie. Maybe you got triggered by something and you canceled it, but something was happening in your real experience of life where you got treated a certain way, or something happened, or just something didn't happen in a sales call or a business presentation or a relationship thing. And so now you've got this new image, you've affirmed that's who you are, and now you want to run a new mental movie in that same situation or scenario with the positive self-image, seeing you handle it, seeing you not be affected by the negativity, seeing you like in a different pattern of focus, running that positive mental image. Think about you on the sales call. Think about you at the, the restaurant, or approaching the, the guy or the girl, whatever it is. Like, run a mental movie where things are going positively. Super, super powerful. And then lastly, the T, train yourself. It says train yourself in the new attitudes and behavior. And so from that, what I took this to mean is go do something. Go do something. And, the process of imagining and affirming does nothing for our nervous system, really. And there's all the, research out there that says just visualizing will perform your, affects your success and all of that. But you want to get good at doing things. You want to create a habit of doing things, like putting stuff out into the world. And this, we're all, and you're here on YouTube, we're consuming so much stuff, but success happens for the producers. And most people, when they're consuming things, you can still consume and learn, but the ratio should be like 1 part learning, 15 parts action, not 100 parts learning, mess up one action, and then go back to learning. That's just procrastination in sheep's clothing. I'm preparing, I'm whatever. But train yourself to get an idea, see an image, and then act on it. See an image and then act on it. Like, affirm this is who you are. And part of the things that are in your identity, you've heard this before, the be, do, have. In order for me to have the goal, that's what I want to have. What do I need to do? Those are your habits. But 2 people can have the same goals and even do the same job, be a sales trainer or salesperson or whatever. They can do the same thing, but all that's in the context of who they be. And that's in the context of what are your values, the hierarchy of your values. This is who you are. And in who you are, you want to be successful, healthy, wealthy, beautiful, rich, all the things, but you want to attach in that alignment, in that hierarchy of values, to be someone who takes action, to be someone who makes things happen. So once you've gone through this craft process, the T is to train yourself in the doing. And guess what? When you go out there in the doing, it's going to be better because you've done the pre-work, you've pre-paved that mental, neural, emotional pathway so that you go into that situation, you have more certainty because you visualize it happening in a positive way. You have more confidence going into the situation, but also, hey, there might be something happen in that situation that you want to run the process through again. And as you're training yourself, you go out there, and I want you to be hungry and addicted to actually doing the thing. So we got to train ourselves to do something with the process. Nobody just meditated and visualized and affirmed for, a year and became a millionaire. We had to do some things. So in this process, see yourself as a doer, do the thing, and that's it. Let me know if you like this type of content. I've been a ghost on YouTube. I don't really create much content. We have a lot of people reach out. I've been around for a while. If you don't know me, you're new here, let me know what you think of this. And I'm going to read the comments down below. Let me know what kind of content you're into. I work with a lot of really successful people. So as I coach them, I also learn from them. So I'm full of ideas and concepts, and we've got a bajillion things that I could share with you. I thought today's lesson was really powerful in the class that I did. So I'm going to share this snippet with you. Hopefully you got value out of it, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.